Hi, my name is Lorianne Holloway, and welcome to Cooking with Lorianne, Tales from a Single Woman's Kitchen. Today we're going to be doing the Winter Storm Picnic. Now the reason why this picnic basket is called the Winter Storm Picnic because it reminds me of a story. One day, not too long ago, when I was a very young girl, there was a guy that I had a crush on, and I liked him so much that I told him, if you ever need anything, just call and I'll come. One day in the middle of January, in the coldest winter storm ever, he called. "Lorianne," he said, "I am so hungry. Can you bring me something to eat?" "Sure I can," I said. Well, I couldn't believe it. It was the call I was waiting for. I rushed off the phone, went into the kitchen, and made him the most delicious picnic basket, put it in the backseat of my car, and drove it through the snow to his house. When I got there, I watched his gorgeous face devour the meal, and thanked God for the handsome creature that was sitting in front of me. When he finished, he said, "Lorianne, this was great. It's just too bad you're not my type." Let's get started. Next, the seafood macaroni salad. The first thing we'll want to do for the macaroni salad is we'll want to start on our dressing. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of mayo. The next thing we want to do is we want to squeeze the lemon inside of the mayo. Okay? The next thing we'll want to do is we'll want to add our herbs. Then we'll mix. Then we'll add our carrots. Next, our celery. Then our onions. Then we'll add our egg. Then our tomato. And then we'll add our seafood. All at one time. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit more mayo. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I always start off with 2 tablespoons. If it's not enough, then I add a little bit more, which is another tablespoon. If it's not enough, then I add another one until I get the consistency I want. See, I could tell you 2 tablespoons and it might be good enough for me, but it might not be good enough for you. So you start off with 2 tablespoons and then you work your way through. Okay? I'm still not happy with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add another tablespoon of mayo. And that should do it. Okay? So that's our seafood seashell salad. Next, the hot and spicy cold slaw. Okay, now we're about to make our slaw. Now, another word for slaw is shredded vegetables. So that's what this salad is of. It is of different shredded vegetables in a salad dressing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our salad dressing. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of mayo. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a tablespoon of sour cream. Okay? Then we're going to add our onions. And then we're going to squeeze the lemon, 1/4 of a lemon inside of our salad dressing. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add herbs. Now these herbs are chives, parsley, and dill. So we're going to add those. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stir. Alright, now remember, this slaw only needs shredded vegetables. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our shredded beets. The beets are sliced, then they're cut across to make little sticks out of them. Now these beets came from the best chocolate cake ever. Remember I said you don't have to throw the beets away? You can use them in salads? Well then, that's what I'm going to do. Now the beets made our salad dressing a pink color. And all girls like pink, so that doesn't matter. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our roasted peppers to our salad. Alright? After that, we're going to add our tomato sticks. Now remember, all of this stuff is clean and dry. And the only reason why our coleslaw took on the color of pink is because beets have the dye in it. So therefore, there's nothing we can do to stop that. The next thing we're going to use is we're going to add shredded celery. Okay? And then we're going to mix it up. Don't you notice? This is just like the way we did our macaroni salad. Right? We added all the vegetables, the small vegetables to it first. And the salad dressing. Then at the end, we add 2 cups of coleslaw. Okay? We mix in our coleslaw, right? Now, like before, I wasn't happy. I thought it was a little bit dry. So what I did was, I just added teaspoons of mayo until I got what I was looking for. Okay? Then you mix that in. Okay? And that's a nice looking slaw. Okay, next I'm going to add a teaspoon of vinegar. If you notice, when I cook, I never add salt and I never add pepper because I always give that to the individual. If they want to add pepper, if they want to add salt, I let them add it at the last minute because everyone has their own taste and you don't know if that person, wants their stuff as hot as you do. Now at the last minute, we're going to add a little bit of cayenne. Okay? Just a little bit. Okay? There you go. Just to give it a little bit of a kick. Do not add too much cayenne because if you do, your guests might not be wild. They might be upset. So, that's the end of our coleslaw. And we'll put this in a nice serving dish and we'll serve it at after we do the rest of the picnic. Next, cheesecake bites. Next, we're going to make our cheesecake bites. Now, these cheesecake bites are a macaroon cheesecake bite. So, they're coconut and almond flavored. So the first thing we're going to add for this is our cream cheese. We're going to add 1 cup of cream cheese. The next thing we're going to add is 1/4 cup of sugar. And what I like to do is I like to mix my sugar and my cream cheese together before I do anything else. And the reason why is because it is very difficult to stir eggs and a thick mixture together. So it's better to have that granulated sugar to help break down the cream cheese. The next thing I'm going to add is 1/4 of a cup of sour cream. And that will thin out our cream cheese. And we're just going to mix that in together. The next thing we're going to add is 1 teaspoon of almond flavored. Alright? Remember, this is a macaroon cheesecake, so we want that nutty flavor. And wow, it smells good, so the almond gives it a nice smell. The next thing we're going to add is vanilla flavor. We'll add 1 teaspoon of that. And then we'll mix again. And the next thing we'll add is a squeeze of lemon. That we don't have to measure. I mean, if you want to measure it, it's about 1/4 of a teaspoon. And now we're going to work on our crust. Next, we're going to make our crust. We'll set this to the side and we'll make our crust. Next, you want to spread your cookie crumbs on a cookie sheet and then bake them at 350 degrees until they're lightly toasted. Now that our crust is out of the oven, we're going to start working on making our cheesecake bites. And the first thing we want to do is we want to oil our pans. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take our pastry brush and we're going to take a little oil and we're going to brush over the tart pans. These are mini tart pans because these are miniature cheesecake bites. Then we're going to take a miniature cake cup and we're going to put it inside of the tart pan like this. Okay? And it should stick pretty good. Then we're going to take a few cookie crumbs and we're going to put it in and we're going to take our thumbs and we're going to press this down. Okay? So that therefore our cheesecake bite has a little crust on the bottom of it. Then we're going to take a spoonful of cheesecake, right? Now you don't want to fill this thing all the way to the top. You just want to put a dollop on it, right? Just like that, and then you want to spread it a little bit just to make sure you covered your crust. Okay? Like that. And that's it. Then you'll do that with the rest of them until you're finished. Okay? See? You press it down so that therefore you got a nice little crust, and then you'll put a dollop of cheesecake batter on top of it. Just enough. Okay? And if you want to, you can tap it a little bit to make sure that it's even. Alright? Okay, now we're going to put these in the oven at 350 150 degrees for about 15 minutes, or until you see tiny little brown dots on top of the cheesecake. That is an indication that the cheesecake is finished. Now that our cheesecake is finished, you can see that they're lightly brown on the top, and that's an indication that they're done. So now we want to take the cheesecake out of the tin, and we want to put them on a serving dish and decorate them with sliced strawberries. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to use a dowel rod and take them out of the mini tart pan, and then what you'll do is you'll gently take the sides of the cheesecake off. You'll take the paper off of them, and then you'll lift them up, and you will put them on the plate. And I'll show you another one. Just take them out, and you take off the paper, and you to be careful, because this is a delicate piece of cheesecake. And as you can see, they're on the plate. Next, we'll decorate them with chocolate and strawberries. Now that our cheesecake is finished baking and it's cooled, it's time for us to start decorating it. As you can see, I already started decorating it by putting strawberries on it and drizzling it in white chocolate. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I decorated it. The first thing I did was I put some chocolate on the cheesecake like this, okay? And the reason why we're using chocolate on the cheesecake is to secure the strawberries down. So that's one strawberry slice, and that's another one, and then we'll use a third one to fill the cheesecake up. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some regular chocolate, and I'm going to drizzle our cheesecake in with the end of a spoon. And I'll put some regular chocolate on the other ones too, just to secure the strawberries down so that they don't fall off. Okay, now I have this one here, and I am going to, now if the cheesecake bites break down, don't worry, because the chocolate is going to secure it and keep it in place. So just keep it together and just place the strawberry on top of it like that. And then place another strawberry on top of it like that. And then what you can do is put a little chocolate, more chocolate on it, and dollop a little bit on, and then add that third slice of strawberry on it. Then drizzle more chocolate onto it. And then you can add some white chocolate onto it. So that therefore it's white chocolate and dark chocolate, and the cheesecake bites are drizzled onto the strawberries. There you have it, the macaroon cheesecake bites with strawberries and drizzled chocolate. The perfect dessert for the winter storm picnic. Next, the pan-fried salmon po' boy. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our tartar sauce for our fish. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a half of a pickle. Now you can use any pickle you want. Some people use sweet, some people use sweet and sour. I myself, I like dill. So we're going to chop this pickle into pieces, into like dices. Okay, until they're nice and chunky for our sauce. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move our pickles to the side. And we're going to take our bowl and we're going to put our pickles in the bowl. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a half of a cup of mayo. Then we're going to add a tablespoon of sour cream. Then we're going to add a tablespoon of dill. Next we're going to add a tablespoon of diced tomatoes, then a tablespoon of diced roasted peppers. Then we're going to add a squeeze of a lemon, and we're going to mix. Then we'll take our sauce bowl and we'll fill it up with tartar sauce. Then we'll garnish it with dill. Okay, now that's our tartar sauce. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our fish fry for our fish. So what we're going to use is 1/2 of a cup of flour. Then we'll use 1/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs. Then we'll use 1/4 of a cup of cornmeal. Then we'll use about a tablespoon of Creole seasoning. And that's just seasoning that comes from New Orleans. And we'll stir. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use 1 teaspoon of baking powder, because when we're frying this fish, we're going to want the batter to rise a little bit. Then we'll season our fish with more Creole seasoning. And lemon. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our egg and our fish, and we're going to roll our fish into our egg. Then we'll take our fish fry and we'll roll our fish into the fish fry until we got it fully coated. Then we'll take the fish and we'll bring it back into the egg, and then we'll roll it again. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want a really thick coating on this fish. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to roll it and fish fry again. So that therefore I got a really good coating on this fish. Okay, now next we're going to fry it. Next, we're going to fry our fish. After around 5 minutes, then we'll turn the fish. Be careful! Oh, it's broke. It's alright. turn the fish. The next thing we'll do is we'll take our fish out of the frying pan and we'll put it on some napkins. The next thing we're going to do is assemble our sandwich. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set out a piece of aluminum foil. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the bottom of the po' boy down. The next thing we're going to add is our lettuce. And our tomato. Then we're going to add our salmon. I'll just put that piece on because it's kind of small. Then we're going to put the top on. Then we're going to wrap. I think I want to put it this way. We're going to wrap the sandwich up. Okay, and what I like to do is I like to put creases in it, but you don't have to do that. You can just roll it up. I don't know where I got that crease thing from. Okay, then you want to press it down. After that, you want to take a knife and you want to cut it in half like that. The reason why you wrap it first is because you want the sandwich to stay intact, okay? Because we're going to serve this with tartar sauce. We're not going to put anything on it, all right? So that is the pan-fried salmon po' boy. Wow, and there you have it, the Winter Storm Picnic. The first thing we did was the seafood macaroni salad. And how we did that is that we used cooked macaroni and all kinds of seafood, herbs, and veggies. And we made this delicious salad with it. The next thing we did was the hot and spicy coleslaw. And the reason why this coleslaw is red is because we use leftover beets from the best chocolate cake ever. Another word for slaw is shredded. So slaw is shredded vegetables inside of a salad dressing. And that's exactly what this is. Shredded vegetables inside of a salad dressing. The next thing we did was our cheesecake bites. And that's made with cheese, cream cheese, strawberries, white and dark chocolate. The next thing we did was our tartar sauce for our fish. And we made that with fresh dill, sour cream, and mayo. The next thing we did was the pan-fried salmon po' boy, made with fresh salmon. Wow, this looks delicious. I think I'll try some. Wow, this is good. Now remember, these recipes and all my recipes can be found at www.lorieanne.com. That's LORIEANNE.com. And remember, you can like me on Facebook at Cooking with Lori Ann, Tales from a Single Woman's Kitchen. Wow, is it that time already? Well, I have a date. I'll see you next time.